And it's funny when people go out on tours the first time, the first thing they talk about is a challenge. They say, you were sitting on my shoulder. You're right. Those things happen.
And you have to remain really
Yeah.
calm. You can't let the passengers feel your nervousness. And believe me, I was really nervous during that whole episode, but it worked out just fine.
We often say teachers, healthcare, and actors make good tour directors. And I think we're a combination of all of those anyway. So.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And a social worker and a cop. I've had disputes among passengers too over the.
Oh, I almost had a physical fight with a couple.
Oh, I've had a physical fight. Oh. What are you talking about? There was one time when I had these women and they were sitting in, back of each other. And one of them was just popping the gum. And I just, during one of the breaks, I pulled her aside. And I said, you know what, can you just not pop your gum? I was really nice about it. But we got back on the bus after the break and she's popping the gum. And so this woman reached between the seats and the woman in front of her had a ponytail, literally pulled her ponytail through the seat. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Yeah.
These were adults too. These weren't kids. These were adults.
I know. But if I had to listen to that and she wouldn't stop, I might be tempted to do the same.
Yeah, but it's atypical. Most of the passengers are really, really nice. And you have to also find what's your niche. Some people like working for the budget tour operators where they have 45, 50 people on a bus on a tour. You can make some really good tips that way. I don't prefer that. I like small group tours, the higher end tours, just because I like the smaller groups and doing the logistics. I like international and I like staying at the 5-star hotels. Let's just be real about this.
And I prefer the budget. And
you go.
Yeah, I prefer the budget. I keep people rotating. I don't get that close to everyone. I mean, I'm friendly with everyone, but there's some I don't want. I keep them moving. Take care of it. 49 people, 51 seats on the coach. There we go. And I like it too. And I told Liz the story. I had a friend that did hiring for a very, very upscale company. And she came to my training to talk to the students and hire and all that. And I said, but what can people complain about? I mean, everything's covered. Everything's covered. And they finest hotels and the best restaurants in the world. I mean, every tour, every float plane or balloon, I mean, that's all included in those tours. And she said, the tour director didn't buy me a candy bar. And ever since then, I still remember that. And at that point, I thought,
there's always one.
Stick with budget.
You have to know going into a tour, there's always one. There is. So the way to curtail that is you kill them with kindness. First of all, you find out what the issue is, right? And you just listen to them because that will just kind of diffuse any kind of tension, just listening to them. But again, I don't want to scare anybody off. That's so atypical. It really is. But to be a really effective tour director, you have to set a precedent from the get-go about directing.